Hello, everybody. Got a big show today. I'm gonna let you guys start coming on. I am Skincare Girl. So good to see you. Hello, hello. I got your direct message that hyperpigmentation and melasma, sunspots are one of your biggest concerns. So that is what we are addressing today. We are addressing hyperpigmentation, melasma, sunspots. We want to know what causes them and how do we treat them in a safe way. So I'm going to let you guys start coming on. I'm good, Romanian Girl 10, really good. I've got a little bit of a sniffle still. So if I have to, blow my nose, I apologize, but this is, I think it's allergies or something. Oh my goodness. One of my clients just came on. So one of my favorite clients, she was one of my first clients. Cindy, it's so good to see you. And I'm so glad that you took a little bit of time off from church because it's at the wrong hour for Cindy, but we just did the 5-day prolonged fast together. Cindy, I think, lost 7 pounds. I lost 5 pounds. But the reason why I was doing it was for autophagy, for that cell turnover. So in case you missed my last week's live, make sure that you check that out. I always post it, but to be in the drawing, so let me just say who won the drawing last time. The drawing was my Live Young Fiber Lean pills, which I take 2 before every meal. Fiber is our friend, folks. Make sure that you check out that live where I talked about the weight loss tips over 40 because the weight loss industry is just broken and it's making us all sick. So we have to implement these really healthy lifestyle hacks, which it was all about that in that live. So make sure you check that out. And the winner for this product, oh my gosh, if I can find her in my notes, 1 second. Oh, the amazing _9. So the amazing _9, I'll send you a message. I'll pop this in the mail to you. And what is up for grabs today is $145. I'm not kidding. Is Clinical is an amazing brand. This is what's up for grabs today. Please excuse my manicure. I'm due for a manicure. This is what is up for today. This is the Is Clinical White Lightening Complex. It is $145. So really good stuff. That's what's up for grabs today. And in order to join the competition, the little drawing, what you have to do is hit that send button right down there and ask 3 people to join. You won't have to leave this platform at all, but invite 3 people, and that's your first step for being in the drawing for this product that is $145. Romanian Girl said, obsessed with Is Clinical. They have some really amazing products. They really do. And so instead of me using this myself, I just decided there's a lot of clients that I have that are struggling with discoloration of the skin. Kaylee said, I think my hands got sunburned on the way back from Mammoth. Oh no! You need the driving gloves, Kaylee. You need the sun protection driving gloves. Oh my gosh, I didn't bring those out. I might have to run back in my closet and grab those. But yeah, that's okay. That's not good. If you missed my ultimate skincare routine, which I also posted on the live, make sure you check that out. And I also did a live specifically on sun protection. So make sure that you check that out, and on the hands. So really, really great stuff. And I always post that so that you guys can refer back to it. So right now up for grabs is the Is Clinical White Lightening Complex. Make sure you invite the 3 people. Dermalogica is also good. Kaylee just said, what about Dermalogica? Dermalogica is also good. But we really need to think about when we're treating stuff like discoloration, melasma, hyperpigmentation, we need to think about what exactly are we treating, okay? So instead of just looking at the brands of what's a good brand, I'm not a brand ambassador for any skincare because I want to be able to, oh, hello from Maine, yay, you made it. Make sure you invite your 3 people right there so that you'll be in the drawing for this $145 product. Really good stuff. So we want to make sure that when we're talking about sunspots and melasma and hyperpigmentation, that we are also talking about what causes it. And Kaylee, that was a really good segue, because the sun, you know, is the number one cause of all aging. It's also the number one cause of skin discoloration and hyperpigmentation. It's not the cause of melasma. Melasma does have a genetic component. Melasma does have a genetic component, but it also has to do with the fluctuation of hormones. So if you've got melasma, which is characterized by that bluish kind of bluish gray brown kind of mask that we get during pregnancy, and also we can get it right here. We can also get it on our forehead, our chin, on our arms, which is where I have it. And that is caused from a fluctuation of hormones. I Am Skin Girl says, does kojic acid help discoloration? It actually does. It's on my list of ingredients. So good job with that. There are better, I don't want to say there's better things. There are things that we need to implement to really get a handle on it first. And then those kind of acids are really, really good. Gina just joined. Hi, Jean. Okay, we're talking about skin discoloration, melasma, hyperpigmentation, freckles, sunspots, age spots. There's multiple different causes for them. The age spots, the sunspots, that's obviously sun exposure, right? The sun is the number one cause of all photoaging, and melasma and discoloration, sunspots are no different. The sun is causing them. So this is why I don't have any sunspots or melasma on my face, because from a very young age, I protected my face, but I thrashed my body. So I am dealing with, for the past 20 plus years, when I finally woke up in my mid 30s and thought, you know, you got to protect the other parts of your body as well. And I began this journey on really trying to get rid of the sun damage that was caused, hi Jean, that was caused by just being outdoors as a kid and not prioritizing sunscreen. I was able to tan really easily. And so, you know, that was back in high school in the 80s when, you know, the copper tone things, and we were putting baby oil on. I protected my face. I did not protect my body. So this is a struggle I've been dealing with for the last 20 years. A Romanian girl says, I used to be a sunburn in my teens and 20s, no sunscreen whatsoever, and now I'm paying for it with melasma. Lesson learned. Yes, bathe in sunscreen. It's my number one product for treating all of these hyperpigmentations, because if you don't use sunscreen, you're taking one step forward in using this and 2 steps back. You can actually make your skin worse. So we don't want to do that. So we're going to talk about the causes really quick. The hyperpigmentation, the sunspots, that's from sun damage. We really need to make sure that we are using a factor 30 to 50 every day, even if you're inside, okay? There's so much ambient light that comes in from our windows. It's super, super important, even in your car. I know you guys have seen probably that split screen of the truck driver, and he didn't wear sunscreen, and half of his face, the side by the window, was so much more aged and spotted, and liver spots, sunspots, melasma, and the other side looked like it was 20 years younger. Think about that. Like, the amount of sun we accumulate throughout our lives, it shows up on our face. For me, it's showing up on my body. But the other cause, I want to be very clear about this, with melasma, there is a genetic component, but it is caused by a fluctuation of hormones made worse by the sun. So when you get melasma, you'll get it here. You'll get the places that are the most sun exposed, right? It's very rare to get melasma, like, let's say, on our stomach. But you'll get it sometimes on your arms, your shoulders, where I have it, the forearms. That's where you can get melasma, but it is a genetic component, and it's really caused from a fluctuation of hormones. So if you're on birth control pills and you're noticing that you're having some melasma, you might want to talk to your gynecologist about switching to a different birth control pill. During pregnancy, we have no control over those hormones, but that influx of estrogen and progesterone causes what's called that pregnancy mask, which I did have. I had like this weird kind of beard that was a darker color skin, and usually that will dissipate once you give birth. So luckily for me, that dissipated. if my skin would have had a lot of sun damage, my face would have had a lot of sun damage, that melasma had a way better chance of sticking and having a long-term effect. So a lot of times when you get that melasma during pregnancy, don't freak out, but get your ass out of the sun at all costs. Sorry, my nose is a little runny. But then so also you'll notice that for my older clients, which I'm an older client, almost 55 years old. And so we are dealing with hyperpigmentation that increases with age as well. Still, we need to use sun protector, but it also increases with those fluctuations of hormones that happen during menopause, perimenopause and menopause, and also with hormone replacement therapy. So if you're doing a synthetic hormone replacement therapy, which God, I hope you're not, that could also cause melasma. So we need to think about what is causing it and then how do we treat it. Okay, so we're going to talk about the number one treatment that I have, which is sunscreen. And if you can, I always err on the side, not err, but I always like a tinted sunscreen. And the reason is because you're getting an added protection. So most sunscreens have zinc oxide, but when you're doing a tinted sunscreen, you have the added benefit of an ion oxide, which really, really helps to prevent further sun damage with hyperpigmentation. So it's super, super important. So I use a tinted sunscreen on my face and neck and sometimes chest, depending on I want to get it on my clothes. But I have no qualms of using a tinted sunscreen on my arms, because not only does it help to kind of mask, but it's giving you extra protection. So you want to use at least a factor of 30 or preferably 50, and a tinted sunscreen is best. And it just kind of, this one actually is super goop. This is a zinc sunscreen, an SPF 40, but this is my favorite for my face. This is the Ilia. And the reason why I like this is a super serum skin tint 40, but it has niacinamide, squalene, and hyaluronic acid. So it's a treatment. The niacinamide helps to brighten the skin and actually helps in one of the phases of that melanin becoming more prominent. So we make the melanin in so there's a couple different phases where you can really treat the production of melanin before it actually ends up on your face. And so what happens is you've got these enzymes that create the pigment, and then, so that's the creation section, right? And that happens, that's tyrosinase, I think that's how you call it, but it's made in the melanocytes. And then, so once it's produced there, you can disrupt the production. It's then transferred in that transfer process to the skin cells, and then it shows itself, right? So in the transfer section, you can use ingredients to combat that. And also in the production section, you can use ingredients to combat that. Sunscreen is in the production because we want to stop it before it ever ends up on our face. So factor 30 plus, I'll give you some of my favorites. This is a CeraVe. I love this because it's a factor 30. I sometimes use this on my arms and chest when I don't want, a transfer of a tinted onto my clothing. I love this because it's a treatment as well. So it moisturizes. It's got 3 essential ceramides, niacinamide. So it's treating one of those steps. It's treating one of those steps to not have the pigment show up. So love this. Again, I told you this was my favorite. This is the Ilia one, but a tinted sunscreen, if you can do it, is best. This is by Elta MD. This is an SPF 44. This also has hyaluronic acid. So you're looking, when you do a tinted, remember you're doing a zinc oxide and an iron oxide, so you get extra protection. Okay, Kaylee says I have bad sunspots on my back, but my skin color doesn't react well to the normal lasers. I'm going to talk about, wow, Kaylee said, wow, you're sold. I'm going to talk about the lasers because I actually had a great reaction to one laser and a terrible reaction to another. So Dimple Queen says, laser or peel, what's more effective for discoloration? It depends on what is the cause of the discoloration. If the discoloration is caused by sunspots, I really love the IPL laser. That's an intense pulse laser, and it targets the melanin in your skin in about 4 weeks. That those pigments come to the surface and kind of just flake off. You don't even really notice them. But I love that for sunspots. For melasma, melasma is very, very tricky. And it can oftentimes make it worse. So I did an IPL on my arms. I filmed that on my YouTube channel. So if you have not checked out that YouTube channel, make sure that you do that. There's over 100, I think there's like 150 videos at this point. And I did do a treatment of IPL on my arms. It makes a big difference because it's not only treating the surface stuff, but the laser pigments, that melanin, that pigment, and it lifts it up. So you're treating the stuff on the surface and also underneath the surface. And I like to do things like that with treating the whole thing instead of spot treating, because if you're spot treating, eventually the other stuff's going to come to the surface, and then you're just like playing whack-a-mole, right? Like every spot you're trying to get. Just do the broad base, like let's get the whole section. And that's kind of how I like to do it. But to answer your question, peels are great. We're going to go over the kinds of peels. Lasers are great if it's sunspots. If it's melasma, it could potentially make it worse. And this is where it's super important that you go, if you have melasma, you want to make sure that you're under the care of a dermatologist, right? Don't get all of your information from me. Don't get all of your information from online. You really need to be under the care of a dermatologist. And when we talk about the second, my most effective treatment for melasma in particular, but also sunspots, discoloration, is hydroquinone. Now, you have to be under a doctor's care for this. And if you're not, if you've gotten this prescription from someplace else, this could go terribly, terribly wrong. And what I mean by that is hydroquinone is made to be used for a very short period of time, right? It's like, let's get in there and shake this discoloration up, shake up this melasma, and then we can use the other products to help to maintain those results. But if you use hydroquinone for long term, you can develop permanent darkening of the skin. So it could make it worse. That's why I'm saying when you're on hydroquinone, it's literally, there's no other ingredient on the face of the earth that treats discoloration, melasma, hyperpigmentation like hydroquinone. So it is right after sunscreen, boom, that's the treatment you want to use, but you need to be super smart about it because you could be doing more harm than good. So hydroquinone, it's a prescription strength. It can be used up to 4 months. So start with 2 months, then you need to back off and then use the other ingredients. There are a couple of, I know that not everybody has health insurance, and we've got a lot of different people that, you know, your price points are varying. And so I just want to be clear that I do keep that in mind. And the products that I'm going to talk about, I don't have a ton of high-end products, although the giveaway, it's $145 for this by Is Clinical. Make sure that you have invited your 3 people to be in the drawing for this amazing product. But that said, you need to be, if you're using a hydroquinone, you need to be under the care of a dermatologist. But they do have some online places where you can get prescription strength hydroquinone. And those are Apostrophe, Curology, and Muesli. So when you go on those sites, Muesli, Curology, and Apostrophe, when you go on those sites, they have prescription strength retinoids. In fact, this is the Agency. Oh, the Agency. Sorry, the Agency is also good, but I don't know if they do hydroquinone. But this is the Agency's dark spot formula. So this was made specifically for me. And in treating the dark spots, the ingredients that they have in here, so this is not a hydroquinone, is an azelaic acid, a kojic acid, a resveratrol, and a green tea extract. So that's what they have in their dark spot formula. But they do have those other companies. You can get a prescription strength hydroquinone, but when they send you your next month's shipment, they'll keep you on it for a little bit of time and then they take you off, they scale you down. So you can't just get hydroquinone delivered to your house with those companies indefinitely. And you don't want that, you guys. If you looked up the pictures, what is it called? There was a name of this. Oh my God, it's like, I don't know where it is, but it's literally terrible. You don't want to use hydroquinone long-term. You will end up with like necrosis of the skin. It turns black, and there's no treatment that will work once you get to that point. So next we're gonna go on to the Tretinoin, prescription strength Tretinoin. Now retin-A's work good on all kinds of hyperpigmentation. And so that is like the next line of defense. So once you've been on your hydroquinone for like, 2, 3, 4 months, the next you step that down and then you hit it hard with the retinoids. So you can do a prescription strength retinoid. This is a retin-A 0.05. They also make it in a 0.025, which is a little less strong, but there's a lot of great over-the-counter retinoids that are also great. Rock, especially if you've got melasma, because you could be sensitive to the retinoid. So you want to start small for if you have melasma. You don't want to make it worse, but you want to start small. It is a great treatment for any sort of skin discoloration. In fact, it literally will help in every phase. So when the pigment is made at the melanocytes, retinoids will help stop the production of that. In the transfer to the skin cells, retinoids are a major ingredient to stop that transfer in the skin cells. And once you've already have discolorations of the skin, retinoids are one of the number one things for exfoliation. So across the board, when it comes to melasma, hyperpigmentation, sunspots, you want to add a retinoid. You don't necessarily need to do a prescription strength. There's a lot of great ones that are over the counter. This is by Olay. This is the one that I use for my body oftentimes. Yes, I do retinoids on my body. So you want to make sure that since you're using you're covering a large area, I tend to make like little dots everywhere so that I've got like a good spread of the product. But retinoids are something that I use nightly on my arms and my chest. And if I had sunspots on my face, I would be using them for that purpose. I use them on my face for many other purposes because they help with everything from acne to discoloration, fine lines and wrinkles, texture, skin tone. Retinoids literally are the holy grail. Now, this is a new one that I discovered a couple years ago that has fast become one of my favorites. And the reason is because it's made for sensitive skin. So not only does it help with acne, so it's treating the inflammation that causes the darkening spots in the first place if you're somebody who suffers from acne, but it is it's a 3rd generation retinoid, which is called adapalene, and this helps to not only lighten the skin, but it helps in fine lines and wrinkles, discoloration, all of that, and it's super mild. You get the same results without all of the irritation. And so this has become a really great product for me. I love this, and I hope that if you're suffering from melasma and you have really sensitive skin, this adapalene, this Deferin gel, which is adapalene, is a really great choice for a retinoid. So you can add that in. Now the next one is niacinamide. If you saw let me just scroll for a second before we go. Before we go on, what brand is that? I need that for my arms. Oh, this one was the Olay Regenerist Retinol 24, which is it's an economical product, but Olay's been doing this for a long time, you guys. This is not our grandma's Olay, okay? So this is a great one to add for your body. And then Romanian Girl, I have not yet to find the perfect tinted sunscreen. It does not cause dry spots. Have you tried this one by Ilia? This is by far my favorite because it has hyaluronic acid and squalene, so it's moisturizing at the same time. But I understand what you mean about the dry spots. If you're in an exfoliation mode from the retinoids, like if you're peeling off, if you're really trying to get in there and get to that new skin, anytime that you use a makeup or a tinted sunscreen, you're going to see all the little exfoliations as opposed to using just a regular sunscreen. So I do kind of go back and forth on these, Romanian Girl, depending on the condition of my skin and what's going on with it at that point. Does tanning lotion protect your arms? No. No. I mean, I might be wrong, Gina, but I don't think so. I think we're looking at, no, we're not, because we're looking at the ion oxide in these tinted sunscreens. So you want a tinted sunscreen in order to like have that extra level of protection. And when we're talking about sunspots, melasma, hyperpigmentation, you want that extra level of protection. Okay. Ilya only has a few shades. No, there's like 20 shades. I would suggest when you're getting a shade like this, because there's so many shades, go into like Sephora, go into a place that actually has this, because you can find the exact right shade for you. Okay. How much SPF at least is required for melasma? I would say a 50. Between 30 and 50, broad spectrum and tinted. That's what I would say. Is IPL and BBL the same? No. BBL, you're talking about a Brazilian butt lift? I don't know BBL. IPL is intense pulse laser. Let's see, any laser that has made my melasma. Oh, any laser, sorry, my eyes are a little trippy right now. Any laser I've used has made my melasma worse. My dermatologist told me to stay away from anything. Oh, see, this is the problem. That's why before you do a laser, you need to make sure that your skin is diagnosed to what exactly is the problem. If it's sunspots, mine are like, I have little freckles and sunspots everywhere. The lasers will tend to work really, really great. If it's melasma, you really have a potential to make it way worse. And so what I would suggest, and what I should have done, I did a pico laser on my arms that made it so much worse. And then I had to go back to the IPL to get all of the, to make sure that I got all of that taken care of. So it was kind of like I took so many steps forward and just as many back when I tried a different laser. So I didn't listen to my own advice, which I should have. Do a spot test. Always, 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 when you're talking about hyperpigmentation and a laser that's supposed to help that hyperpigmentation, do a spot test to make sure. And then wait 3 weeks. So you do a little tiny section, just a couple zaps, wait 3 weeks, go back in. If it's made it worse, you're at least only dealing with this one little section back here instead of your whole face. So that would be, Sophia said listening while grounding on my mat using my giveaway gift. Yay. Okay. And then I'll do one more hydroquinone. It's a short-term treatment. You can't use it long-term. That's right. You're going to get that necrosis. I forgot what it's called, but it's like literally your skin dies and you've got like black marks. Very, very sad because there's really no treatment when it gets to that. So you only want to use hydroquinone for the maximum 4 months, but really 2 months, 3 months, then step away and then start adding the other ingredients. So we've already done sunscreen, protect, protect, protect. We've already talked about hydroquinone and what's the risk of that. It is the #1 treatment. There's nothing else like hydroquinone on the market, which is why all other skincare that has to do with hyperpigmentation tries to compare the results to hydroquinone because there's nothing like it on the market. But you really need to be smart about it or you're going to do more damage than good. Make sure you're under the care of a physician with that. Okay. If you haven't already, I have not tried Ilya, but I've heard great things. It's amazing. Okay. Is spray SPF not as effective? I put a cream on my face, but spray my hands and body. Spray is just as effective, but I kind of like the ones that actually have a treatment in them. So for example, Sophia, even just if you just did your first little layer of a treatment one that has like a niacinamide in it, like the CeraVe AM, you're blocking one of those paths. So the niacinamide, and the reason, this is what we're getting to next, the reason why niacinamide is great, not just in overall skin tone, because this is in the ultimate skincare routine as improving overall skin tone, as is a vitamin C. But when we're talking about discoloration and melasma, this actually hits that treatment right when the melasma, when those, oh my God, Just totally lost it. Got tongue-tied there. This niacinamide actually treats the step where the transfer of the melanin to the actual skin cell. So in that transfer, guess what disrupts it? Niacinamide. So this is super important to have as one of your steps if you're dealing with hyperpigmentation and melasma especially. So, okay. So Sophia, this would be my advice to you. Get it first once with a treatment, or you can do this first. You can do a niacinamide serum first. This is very watery, which I love because it spreads easily. So you could do your whole arm, your shoulders, where you get the most sun exposure with the niacinamide, and then use your spray, right? So then you're treating as you're protecting. I love that. Okay, so this is one of my favorites. This is Facial Radiance. So I love that. And also The Ordinary makes a 10% niacinamide, a 1% zinc. Great project. Sophia said, but like every day. Yeah, the spray is so convenient. Great, you put this one on first and then you can spray. Okay, and then also, so First Aid Duty, Paula's Choice makes a 10% niacinamide. I'll have this all in the description below. And now let's go to, I have to say, I should have talked about this with the hydroquinone. This is literally the best product on the market. I'm not doing any affiliate marketing with them. This is the best product on the market, just below hydroquinone, and it doesn't need a prescription. I've had great results with this. It's called Faded by Topicals. Not that expensive either. I know it's under 50 bucks. And inside, it has all of the stuff that you need. It's got the azelaic acid. It has the kojic acid. It has niacinamide in it. So for spot treatments, like if you've got like a patch, this is a really great product. This is Faded Topicals, and it just has a great combination of ingredients. So Romanian Girl said, my derm told me to spot treat with hydroquinone, but we want to put it on my entire face because we can develop halos around the spot treatment areas, right? Yeah. I mean, I personally wouldn't spot treat because I think it's like a whack-a-mole situation. If you're going to spot treat with hydroquinone, then yes, you could have like a little bit of a discoloration around the area. It could be brightened up, and then you've got like another discoloration. I would use it on the areas that have the most sun exposure, do a broad sweep of that, and then you're preventing that stuff from coming up in the future as well. Now, if you do have melasma, the chances of it coming back are pretty high. And I hate to say that, but that's just the truth. I don't want you to get discouraged. You treat it for 2, 3, 4 months with the hydroquinone. When you're off the hydroquinone, hit it with the other stuff. It might take years for it to come back, but it is something that is hormonally based, and there's a genetic component to it. So don't get discouraged. These kind of treatments do work. So if you have any more questions about that, Romanian Girl, direct message me. I'd love to see what your derm has you on. And for those of you who are just joining, make sure that you invite your 3 people with that arrow down below, and you will be in the drawing for this $145 product by Is Clinical called White Lightening Complex. So it's a skin brightening treatment. So make sure you invite your 3 people, and then once I put this in my feed, tag 3 more people. Okay, so we just did niacinamide. We're gonna go on to the chemical peels. Now, chemical peels are great for any sort of discoloration. If you missed my live on chemical peels and which chemical peel is right for you, make sure that you check that out. And if you'd like me to send you like a list of the chemical peels, you know what you could do is if you go to my linked tree and click on the subscribe to my newsletter, you automatically get all of the list. Printed piece of paper or you can, it's you can print it. It will go to your inbox in your email, and you can print that out and use it as a reference. So if you want something like that for any of these chemical peels and things like that, if you missed that or you've got any question, direct message me and I'll get that stuff over to you. Okay, so we are now headed to the chemical peels. Now my favorite is the ordinary AHA 30%, BHA 2%. So make sure that you check out that video, but there's also some really good ones. And if you are hypersensitive, which a lot of people with melasma are, you want to then aim for like a lactic acid. Remember we talked about this, it's a bigger molecule, a lot less irritation, still helps to lift all that pigment from the skin. A mandelic acid, which is what I use on my neck and chest, because my neck and chest are well, at least my neck is super sensitive because the skin is thinner there. So I use a mandelic acid to lift that pigment off of my neck and my chest. And then this is also a great one. This is Paula's Choice. This is a 2% BHA liquid exfoliant. I love this, and both AHAs and BHAs. So both AHAs and BHAs help with skin discoloration. So it's just a matter of how sensitive your skin is. If your skin is, you want to hit it hard and your skin can handle it, you want to do an AHA, like a glycolic acid, or a combination like this. If you've got more sensitive skin, you want to do the bigger molecules, which is the lactic acid and the mandelic acid. Hold on 1 second, you guys. I'm doing this new thing. 1 second. I'm recording on 2 different cameras, and so I just want to make sure that I get that as well. I'm trying to figure out how do I record for both Instagram and YouTube, and so this is, I hope that that's on. Is that on? Let me check one more time. Sorry, you guys. 1 second. 1 second. Okay. Hold on. And okay. Sorry. Oh gosh, I hope that that's on. I don't see it. Okay, stay with me. One more time. Okay. Make sure that you have tagged your 3 people, or you've invited your 3 people. Okay, yes, we're back. Oh, okay. I'm trying to figure out this new camera. So, okay, so we are now on the chemical peels. So again, the Good Genes all-in-one lactic acid. This is more for sensitive skin. I love this full face as well. And if you have melasma, you might be a little sensitive, but this one is my all-time favorite. This is the ordinary peeling solution. So make sure that you check out those chemical peels and which one is right for you. Okay, so there are some other ingredients that are also great, which is why this one is an amazing product, because it combines a lot of different ingredients, all of which help in certain sections of how does the melanin actually get on your skin and become hyperpigmentation. So it's either in the production or in that transfer to the skin cells or in treating it afterwards. And this product has all of those kind of things in it. So this was a great one, but also they have this thing called a kojic acid soap, which is in my Instagram. It's on my Instagram. It's on my Amazon storefront. So if you go to my Amazon storefront, which is in my linked tree, don't leave yet. But afterwards, you can click on that link in my bio, and it'll take you to my linked tree. And if you click on the Amazon little icon, most of everything that I've talked about today is in that Amazon store. So you can get those links there. But again, if you'd like me to give you the links separately, what you can do is sign up for that email list, because if you do that every week when I do these lives, oh my gosh, yeah, this is great. Every week when I do these lives, it's like 2 weeks later, you'll get in your inbox every product that I talked about with all of the links to them as well. So it's a way for you not to have to take notes during these lives and just kind of try to grasp what I'm saying and understand what I'm saying and kind of learn when it comes to treating different skincare problems, we need to make sure we know what we're treating. We need the ingredients so that it's in this way when you're bombarded with marketing in the future of, oh, this great new skin spot treatment, you'll be able to look at it and say, does it have niacinamide in it? Does it have azelaic acid in it? Is it a retinoid? You'll be able to look at these ingredients and never waste your money again. And that's kind of, yeah, I like that part. I like that part. I don't know about you guys. Okay, so azelaic acid is another great ingredient. This is by Paula's Choice. This is the 10% azelaic acid. So azelaic acid is one of those things that it's, yes. So the azelaic acid and the kojic acid, the vitamin C's, not so much, retinoids and hydroquinone, those are the ones that stop the production at the site, at the melanocytes. Those stop the production. Then when you have the transfer over, you can hit it with the niacinamide or a retinoid or a retinoid. Okay, so you can do both of those. And then when we get to the point where, damn it, the spots on my skin, we've already gotten to that point, then you can use an AHA or a BHA. Both of them work for melasma, discoloration, sunspots. This one's my favorite. So then you can use this, and you use this once a week. And then on a daily basis, you use the retinoids, right? So that's basically what the thing is. So you want to make sure that when you're treating these, you hit them at every station, right? Think of it like a station. If the pigmentation is getting from production to your skin, how can you disrupt that the whole way through? Disrupt it by how it gets produced, sunscreens, right? But also hydroquinone, also retinoids. Those stop the production. Those help stop the production. Then when it gets transferred to where it's en route and it's getting transferred to your skin cell, you can head it off at the pass there. And those are the niacinamides and the retinoids, right? So basically you'll notice retinoids work for every single phase of this, which is like crazy. So somebody just said, azelaic is a new thing I start using and my skin is more calm. Yeah, it's a little bit less irritating. And when you're talking about melasma and you're talking about discoloration, there's a lot of inflammation involved in this, right? And that's how our bodies are all connected, right? When I get clients and I say, let me put you on an anti-inflammatory diet and your acne is going to go down. Let me put you on an anti-inflammatory diet. You're going to have less redness and less rosacea and less things going on with your skin. Your skin will become clearer. So what you eat shines through your skin. And for those of you who have not made an appointment to do one-on-one consultation, you'll find this out when you work with me. And I hope to work with every single one of you guys. If you're learning anything from this, imagine what I could do when I get you alone one-on-one and we're Zooming and I can look at your skin and I can look at your diet, I could look at the way you're moving, and we can figure out the way to make you look and feel your best at every age and every stage of life and to expand that health span. And that's what I do. But your skin, being your largest organ, it shows a lot of how healthy you are. So inflammation shows up in your skin as acne, as melasma, as discoloration, as a lot of different things, right? It really kind of breaks down our skin. So we're moving on. So the other effective ingredients, like I said, were the kojic acid soap. So that's in my Amazon store. So afterwards, if you want the links to all these products, you don't want to wait to sign up for the mailing list, but you want to get these products right away. I don't blame you because this is exciting stuff. You can go in the Amazon store and just about everything that I talked about here today is in that store. The next one are the light pulse lasers. So we did talk a little bit about this, about the IPL lasers, which I've been doing on my skin, I want to say for the last 15 years. I haven't gone in a long time because I've made mass improvements at home without having to use the lasers because of the skincare routine that I have. So that's what I'm saying. You can do a lot with skincare. You really can. You can change a lot of this stuff with skincare without having to do in-office treatments. So But I did do IPL. I did IPL probably, I want to say in my lifetime, probably 10 times. And it's really, really helped. But then I did a pico laser, and that made it way worse. And I had to spend a couple years trying to get my skin back to where it was. So I took 10 steps forward, and, you know, it seemed like to me at the time, it probably wasn't, but it seemed like 10 steps back. So that was really disheartening, and I should have done a spot test. Okay, so that said, I wanted to make sure you guys did realize with these light pulse lasers, if it's melasma, it could make it really worse. So that's why you want a spot test. If it's sunspots, which are more surface, those light lasers are really, really effective. So you have to know what you're treating, which is why if you have any suspicion that you are suffering from melasma, you want to make sure that you're under the doctor's care, you're doing the hydroquinone, and you're breaking up those steps of when it gets formed, and you want to be super careful about any lasers that you use because you can cause more inflammation in the area, which will make the melasma worse. Oh, I don't want you guys to do that. Okay, so moving on, make sure that you check out that YouTube video though, because I do have over 140 videos on there, but I did the IPL laser so you can see what it's like. It feels like little zaps of a rubber band. But it's very highly effective and totally tolerable. Okay, going on to food. Yeah, this is kind of my thing. If you can put stuff on your skin topically, we're using a vitamin A, right? Niacinamide is a vitamin B. Vitamin C, I've talked about often with brightening the skin. All of these brighten the skin, A, B, C, right? ABC, these all brighten the skin. You can get that through food, and it's not like you can only get that from food. I would still do all the outside stuff, but do the inside stuff first too, at the same time. So vitamin D, so ABC, D, now vitamin D is also super important in terms of protecting your skin. So you want to make sure that you're having enough vitamin D. I would suggest at least 2,000 I use a day. And that really helps to strengthen your skin so that it protects it from future damage. And you can get that from raw almonds and almond milk, fatty fish, mushrooms, yogurt, eggs. There's a lot of stuff that vitamin D's in. So make sure that you look for that ingredient when you're consuming your food, because that is protecting your skin. But also vitamin A, all your B vitamins, your vitamin C, all of this stuff, when ingested, really protects your skin. And in fact, there's that one really, oh my God, my brain just went dead. There's that one pill that people put you on, that the dermatologist could put you on when you're super, you've got cystic acne, and that is a vitamin A derivative. So when you have that Accutane, oh my God. So Accutane is a really high intensity of vitamin A that you're taking orally. And guess what happens to your skin? It's the same as retin A. Like, you don't have to use this if you're on Accutane. I'm not suggesting Accutane, but I just wanted to show you guys the connection that what you put into your body and what you apply topically, it's so intertwined. And so to find out the root cause, but to hit it with food and also with topical treatments is super important. So I'm going to just scroll down for a second. There's so many components to skincare. Do you have a simplified list of what to do? Yes, I do. Unapologetically Wendy. Yes, I do. So the simplified list is when you get done with this, when you're done, go on my linked tree and click on that little link in my profile. And that will take you to my linked tree. And the first thing is sign up for my newsletter. When you sign up for that newsletter, immediately, I say within 15 minutes, you'll receive in your inbox my ultimate skincare routine, which kind of breaks everything down. Now, in that routine, I talk about niacinamide, I talk about vitamin C, I talk about retinoids. I don't talk about hydroquinone, and I don't talk about some of these other ingredients. I don't talk about faded, that are really great specifically for people that suffer from hyperpigmentation and melasma. And if you're one of my clients on here and you do suffer from melasma and hyperpigmentation, and I haven't put you on this type of treatment yet, there's a reason for it. So just know that first. Sometimes you need to prep your skin a little bit with ingredients like these and get your skin used to it before I suggest let's do a hydroquinone or let's do this, because what you don't want to do is cause extra inflammation and then you're going to be set back, because the hydroquinone is a very strong ingredient. And like I said, you need to be under doctor's care, and it only really used for 2 to 4 months at a time. So to answer your question, yes, I have the AM/PM list. Sign up for that email and that will automatically be sent to your inbox. Okay, I thought Pico Laser was really good for hyperpigmentation. I did too, Lavender Lake Lane. I thought Pico Laser was like, oh, it's the next greatest, biggest thing. No, I could not use it, and I should have done a spot test. And instead what I did was I did the treatment. 4 weeks later, I did another treatment, which is what they kind of suggest, 4 to 6 weeks. And it wasn't until the third treatment that I started to see the hyperpigmentation. And I thought, holy crap, what did I just do? So I had to let my skin rest for a little bit. Then all the hyperpigmentation came up to the surface. Terrible. And then I had to hit it with all the retinoids and go back in for IPL. So somebody just asked, what's your eyeshadow? It's the Tarte. Oh gosh, I was just going to do, prior to this, I was going to just do a simple makeup and put it up on YouTube. And I kind of ran out of time, but I'm going to be doing a simple makeup tutorial, just like everyday makeup that's really kind of skincare based, but it kind of shows you like what I did now. It takes me like 10 minutes to do. But just kind of, using things. This is the only makeup that I really use. I don't really use foundation. Because you want your skin, like if you've got good skin, if you're doing all this stuff, you only really need a tinted sunscreen, right? So that's my thing about the Pico Laser, and what I'm trying to stress to you guys is before you go in and try to do one of these quick fix lasers, make sure that you're treating the right symptom. Sunspots, it works great for. Melasma, it could make it worse. Apparently I had melasma on some sections of my arm, and that's why it made it worse. So, let's just keep going. For those of you guys that have just joined, make sure that you invite your 3 people with a little send button down there, and you will be in the drawing for this amazing product worth $145. This is the White Lightening Complex by Is Clinical. And so if you invite your 3 people now with that arrow, and then once I post this to my feed, tag 3 more people, you'll be in the drawing. Last week's winner, oh my gosh, where is it? The amazing _9 won these Fiberline pills that really help with, this is my brand, it really helps with weight loss. So if you missed last week, make sure you check that out, because it was my 10 top tips of healthy aging weight loss, or healthy weight loss tips. Yeah, that's pretty much what it was. Because the diet industry doesn't work, it's broken, and we're all getting bigger and sicker in the process. So these are lifestyle hacks that, when done consistently, really gets you to your fighting weight. Okay, so the number 9 is red light therapy. This is the Omnilux. I'm not going to really put this on, but yeah, I guess I will. This is the Omnilux face contour. If you want the link, just DM me and I'll give it to you. This helps with everything from melasma, hyperpigmentation, uneven skin tone. It's 10 minutes a day. It's portable. There's a lot of research coming out about red light therapy. I've been using red light therapy now for over a decade to treat everything from eczema to blotchiness, skin circulation, inflammation. So there's a lot of benefit from these red light therapy devices. They also have a neck and décolletage one as well, which I love, because this is my son. Gina just said best mask ever. It really is, because it's super comfortable to wear. In fact, I'm just going to leave this on. It's super comfortable to wear. It improves your overall health of your skin, but not only is it addressing the outside. So red light therapy, if it's in the right wavelength, which a therapeutic wavelength is between 630 and 850 nanometers, that's a combination of red and near infrared light. And when it's in the right wavelength, it's hitting your cells and energizing them. So it's not just surfacey, it's getting into your cells and energizing those mitochondria, and it's helping with everything So it's inflammation, it's fine lines and wrinkles, it's uneven skin tone, melasma, hyperpigmentation. It's really kind of a great little device. So if you want that code, I will get that to you. Just DM me and I'll get that to you as soon as I can. And then number 10, going back around, sunscreen, because my God, don't do all of this stuff if you're not going to protect your skin. So my number 1 is sunscreen. My number 10 is sunscreen. Don't even think about doing any of these types of treatments or using any of this skincare without protecting your investment. So you can spend tons of money and time and effort treating this stuff and then spend the day at the beach without a wide hat and without the proper sunscreen, and you've just taken giant steps backwards. We don't want that to happen. So for those of you who are just joined, go ahead and I just see some people joining now. I'm about to get off of here, so make sure that you tag your 3 people with that little send button, and your name will go in the drawing for this is clinical, the white lightening complex. So make sure that you send those right now. And Romanian Girl said yes to the sunscreen. Do not do all of these treatments if you are not going to be hyper vigilant about your sunscreen. I mean, hyper vigilant. Do not leave the house without sunscreen. My sunscreen is over by my toothbrush. So that when I wake up in the morning, brush the teeth, brush the teeth, wash the face, skincare, sunscreen. That's it. Right, I want to say within 20 minutes of waking up. So that's super important. There's so much ambient light that comes in. Also, I wanted to say, if you have got melasma, if you have true melasma, which is those patches of discoloration, bluish brown, they're kind of flat. If you have that, your blue screens of your devices, your computers, your phones, that's making it worse. So you want to make sure that you're using some sort of protection. Not necessarily skincare, but that your device is set in some sort of modes where you're not getting all that blue light onto your skin, because if you have melasma, it is making it worse. So, okay, I think that's it for today. I'm just about to get off, so make sure that you tag your 3 people here or send that little arrow to them and then tag 3 people after I post. I thank you guys all so much for being here. DM me and let me know what you want to hear about next week. I was thinking about doing it on hormones, hormone replacement therapy, but there's a lot of other stuff I can do it on. I could do a whole section on intermittent fasting. I could do a whole section on, oh gosh, I don't know. There's so much stuff to talk about. So direct message me and let me know what you're interested in learning about. And I will see you guys next week. Hello, make sure you tag your 3 people because I'm about to get off of here. And you do not want to miss being in the drawing for this $145 product. I'm so glad you liked it, Romanian Girl. Yay. Okay, I'll see you guys next week at 11. Unapologetically, Wendy said hormone replacement. Okay. Yeah, that's definitely a topic that I want to talk about. Okay, you guys. It was so good seeing you. Oh, somebody else says fasting. Direct message me. I'll do a little vote on my Instagram story and let you guys kind of vote on what the topic is next week. Could be on fasting. It could be on hormone replacement therapy. We could do more weight loss tips. There's a lot of stuff that I can talk about. Okay, I'll see you guys next Sunday. Have a great, great, great rest of your day. I see you. I appreciate you guys. Cellulite is a good one too. Yes. Oh my gosh. Okay. Bye, you guys. Have a great Sunday.